Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah Joanne, and it's 9:30 on a Sunday morning. I can't think what date it is. It's the 9th, actually, of December. And I've no makeup on, I've no face, but I'm going to yoga shortly. And I just thought, what's the point of me putting makeup on to then go exercise? Because I don't personally put makeup on when I'm exercising, because I just see it's a bit pointless if you're going to sweat and then have all that makeup going in your face. So you've got me just as I am, no makeup this morning, ready for yoga. But that's how I roll this morning. So I'm just going to share this into my other group, and today we're going to talk about the suits. So good morning, Louise, thank you for joining me. We've been talking previously about the different structure of the cards over the last few days. And if you've not registered already, please do register, because it means that you can get the links to your email address, to your inbox. So you get them in your inbox, so you're not searching around looking for a video. I had somebody yesterday searching for the videos, and she couldn't find one. I had to link her. And that's fine, you know, you're struggling, let me know and I will link you out, I'll tag you. But an easy way to do it is to just register. So I'm just waiting for my computer to load up because it's taking its time. But I'll just recap over what we've covered over the last few days, because we cover the Angel Tarot in these 12 days of my amazing Angel Tarot tips, and we're using the Power Archangel Tarot deck. And that deck has 78 cards, and if you use any other tarot deck at all, whether it's Unicorn Tarot or Fairy Tarot or whatever type of tarot, Dragon Tarot, they all have 78 cards and they all follow the same structure. So when you learn something like this and use the tarot, it's basically cross-transferable. And I also find that, obviously, it's not easily cross-transferable. You can't just suddenly pick up a dragon deck and know it, but you've got the same structure of the cards, and the same basic meanings usually follow across all the decks. And then there may be other meanings within there, or other things that you see within the card, which you then get that relationship with them. So it's a really good way to give in-depth readings, and I really like the tarot decks for that reason, because I think it just gives you a better reading generally than oracle cards. So I'm just sharing this now, and then I'm with you fully. I feel like I'm not with you fully when I'm doing this. So that's shared. Right, okay. So yeah, we've been looking at the structure, we've been looking at the major arcana, that there's 22 cards of the major arcana, and they're the most major cards within the deck. And don't worry if you've still not got a deck, Louise. No, you can get one at any point. If you've registered, you'll have these videos, you know, and then you can just catch up with it. And if you've got another tarot deck, if you've actually got a tarot deck, you could use another tarot deck alongside this. You'd be surprised that you see similarities in it, because obviously, like I said, they're cross-transferable. But yeah, we talked about the major arcana. We then talked about the next most important cards, which is the aces, which represent new beginnings, and we did a little spotlight on the aces the other night. And then we went to the court cards, which are the kings and queens, and the pages and the knights, and we did a little spotlight on those on the video. So if you've missed any of these, definitely register so you can catch up with them. And then now we're going to go to the suits. And within the Angel Tarot deck, and any tarot deck, we have 4 suits. Just like 4 suits of playing cards, you have your clubs, your hearts, your spades, and the other one that I can't think of, diamonds, that's it. It's the same with the tarot. And in traditional tarot, you have wands, you have cups, you have swords, and you have wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. Sorry, I'm just looking at the cards in front of me, reminding me what it is, because I don't tend to use the traditional tarot as much now. So you've got those 4 decks within there, 4 suits within the tarot deck. And those different decks have different meanings, different suits have different meanings, sorry. So, for example, in the traditional tarot, we have a suit that is Pentacles, which is all about finances and money and matters of material things. And in the Angel Tarot, we have the suit of Ariel here, and that represents money and coins and financial material things. And within these suits, we have 2 to 10 cards. So we have 9 cards altogether within the suits. You actually have 10, because the first one is the ace, but I've covered the aces separately because I feel they're different to the suits in the fact that of importance. And then going on to Michael, which is the suit of swords in the traditional tarot, we have 2 to 10 of Michael, and Michael equals challenges, it means obstacles, it means things we need to overcome. Ignore the dog barking in the background, it's my neighbour's dog. And then we've got one of my favourite suits, which is Love, which is Raphael. And in the traditional tarot, they are represented as cups. And again, we have 2 to 10 of those. And then you've got Gabriel, which equals wands in the traditional tarot, and in the angel tarot, it's Gabriel. And this represents work, so, you know, our career, things we do for a job, and things that require work. And these suits all give detail into finer things in life. So the major arcana are major events in our life, typically, and then the suits go into finer detail of things into our life and go into a bit more detail around things. So today what I thought was I'll do a little bit of card focus on all the twos across, and then you can see that at the end of these 12 days, I'm going to be offering an opportunity to work deeper with me and learn the Angel Tarot in a much deeper way with me. But giving you this today gives you an insight. Hiya, Irene, thanks for joining me. This gives you an insight of what you can read yourself within the Angel Tarot and how you can really get into depth with it. So I'm just going to show you the twos. So you've got the 2 of Ariel, and you've got a man balancing there on a ledge, and you've got an angel sort of sat there looking at him as well. And then you've got the 2 of Michael, and you've got 2 unicorns here. And you've got the 2 of Raphael. Raphael's all about love. You can see 2 people there. And then you've got the 2 of Gabriel. And what we do in the Power Angels course is go into each card in detail and actually look at it, look at its basic meanings. You can really get to understand and learn and get a really deep relationship with the cards. But you can also follow this yourself and take your own guidance with this. So let's have a look at the 2 for a moment. And the 2 of Ariel is all about pentacles, and it's all about money and matters of finance. So if I were to ask you what's the first thing that you notice on the card, and it'd be good if you could comment, Irene or Louise, what are you most drawn to on the card? What do you see? What stands out? And we'll just have a little bit of fun with this, and I'll just show you, you know, how you can read the cards for yourself without, you can't see, I don't know if you can see the words, but I'm going to cover them up just in case you can read backwards. But see what you're most drawn to here, what do you most, you know, what can you most see within the card? And bearing in mind it's about money, it's about finances. So yeah, you see the upside down man. And that's immediately what I'm drawn to. Yeah, and Louise has put juggling and balancing. Money, yeah. And you're absolutely spot on, Louise, you're absolutely spot on. This is exactly what this card means. So the upside down man is balancing. And he's juggling some balls there, and he's balancing. He's trying to balance on the ledge. And you probably can't see it so well here. I don't know if you can see it that well with the camera. But the angel's face, she's almost sat there like looking at him like quite bemused, you know? Like, what are you really doing? You know, what are you doing there? Why are you putting yourself through this? And this is saying that you're trying to balance money. That as quick as it comes in, it's going out. You're trying to get everything balanced. It's not. You're doing too much. You've got too many tasks, too many jobs, multiple jobs going on, too many projects, and it's all just becoming a bit too much, a bit overwhelming, and you're having to balance on a corner of a building, on a knife edge, so to speak, just to try and keep everything going. And the message of this card is to let go of some of those things, have fun. The message of the card also, when I have it in front of people, is saying money will always balance for you, which it does. You'll always make things make ends meet, but ultimately there's a simpler way of doing this. You know, it's time to let go of some things and concentrate on 1 or 2 things rather than trying to do too many things or being too many things to all people. So that's what the 2 of Ariel basically means. And it's showing that, you know, money's a little bit tight, that as soon as it's coming in, it's going out. You know, there's a big focus on money around this as well. And the angel is saying it doesn't have to be this hard. So that's the 2 of Ariel. So just moving on to the 2 of Michael. Michael is all about challenges. Hi Natalie, thanks for joining me. And if you look at the 2 of Michael here, it'd be great if you can comment and let's have some fun with this. See if you can tap onto your own intuition with this. There's 2 unicorns here. What do you notice about the unicorns? And this is challenges. So this is relating to challenges, obstacles that we can overcome. When you think of the subject of challenges and you think of the subject of, you know, obstacles, things that we need to overcome, what are you drawn to in this card with the unicorns in the 2 of Michael? I'll let you comment. Hopefully you can. I know it takes a while for you to comment, so that's why I'm being quiet, because it takes about 8 to 10 seconds for me to see the comments. Yeah. The one includes round his hooves. So what, you mean all the dust, Irene, around his hooves? Is that what you're drawn to? Sorry, I didn't quite understand that. The one includes round hooves. I think it might be the dust that you're relating to. But here, yeah, if you notice, you've got one unicorn who is sort of almost stood a little bit back. Can you see that he's almost back at an angle? Dust, yeah, I thought you meant that, Irene, thank you. The one with dust around his hooves, that's what you meant, didn't you? Thank you. If you look, he's sort of sat back and submissive. And then you've got one here who's, you know, stamping his hooves and being a bit strong and a bit, you know, what's it called? Well, you're having a bit of a paddy, you know, like getting impatient, getting angry, you know. When a horse does get angry, what does it do? It doesn't like something, it kicks its hooves and raises dust. And basically, if you look as well, the horns are almost at loggerheads. So this is relating to challenges. And if you think about these 2 unicorns and obstacles that we've got to overcome, they're at loggerheads with each other. They're basically in a bit of a locked horn situation, in an argument with the situation. And it's basically saying find a compromise, find a way to overcome this with whoever you're loggerheads with. And for some, it's showing the duality of a situation. So when you're trying to make a decision, sometimes you're like that and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go forward, I'm kicking my hooves, I'm ready, I'm deciding that I'm doing this is it. And sometimes we're like this, and we're like, oh, I don't really know. I feel somebody's pushing me into this situation, I'm not really sure if it's right for me. You know, I'm feeling a bit more submissive, I'm not feeling as headstrong about it. And it's showing the duality of how we can be around a decision, how we can think around a decision. And really it's saying, you know, don't overanalyze it. You know, look at it and think, right, you know, make the decision. It'll be much easier to make a decision. And then you won't have all this worry in your head because it's representing the thoughts in your head. But majority of the time it's about finding a compromise and making a decision with another person. And when I get this card, and I'm reading this card for people in front of me, or if they come to me for readings for online, what I do see is I see which one I'm drawn to first, you know. So here, if I'm drawn to this one, I'm saying you need to stand up for yourself. There's going to be a situation coming up where you need to stand your ground, and you really need to say what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you would like to do. And if I'm drawn to the other one and I feel it's a situation, you know, and if they're asking about work and this comes up, it's a situation at work and I'm saying, you know, there's going to be something that you don't necessarily agree with, somebody's been a bit headstrong, but it's time to just let it go and, you know, go with it and just let it roll. And depending what the next card is will depend what else I also say. So you can see there how the 2 of Michael relates to obstacles, things you've got to overcome, just by looking at these unicorns. And you might also be drawn to the sunset, and it's saying, you know, this situation will get better, it will improve. sunset, sunrise, however which way you want to look at it. There's water here, it's on a beach. Water often relates to emotions. So you can see all the detail in the card here, and this is how you can tap into it and read it with a bit more detail. Louise, you've put much easier to read than traditional tarot. You know, it's interesting because I learn on the traditional tarot deck, and I love that deck. But I found it relatively easy to read, to be honest. But I know what you mean. There's lots of symbolism sometimes that can be a bit tricky, and these cards do make it simpler. But I just find it's quite dark, and I find that a lot of people are frightened by it. So this is why I've swapped to the Angel Tarot, because I find it much more uplifting, much more positive, much more what people need. Although we've all got light and dark in our relationships and in our life, and it's not something we should hide away from. And there is darker in these cards. It doesn't actually, when you see it, doesn't frighten people. If you see what I mean, like the traditional tarot can. So going on to the Two of Raphael, which is all about love and represents cups in the traditional tarot. We've got two people here. And what are we seeing when we see these two people? So yeah, let's just have some fun. Look at this. What do you see when you see these two people? And bearing in mind it's relating to love and matters of the heart and things that we do love. What do you see? And what could it possibly mean? So I'll just go quiet and wait till these comments come up, you know. And I like to do this because it shows that when you're looking at the cards and you comment, you can actually see how easy this can be to tap into your intuition and really get into it, you know. So please comment if you're not doing. And also it shows that other people will see what you're going to say as well, rather than me spouting on, which I don't mind doing because it's what I'm here to teach. But you know what I mean? It's showing that other people can read this as well. It's not just me who's a experienced reader. Natalie, well done. Yeah, connection. You're absolutely spot on. You've got two people here who are extremely connected. And look at them with the hands. She's actually got a finger touching his other hand, if you can see that. I'm looking at the cloud or bird-shaped thing between them. Well, yeah, it's like I see it like light between them. Mirroring, yeah, the mirroring each other very much. Oh, under the hands, right, yeah. That is a caduceus symbol, and basically it's an old. It's almost like a medical symbol these days, but it's relating to the chakras and the energy that's entwined between them. That's what it basically means. So, yeah, and it's saying they are intertwined. So for me, this is a soulmate card. This is a meeting of minds. You know, this is a major connection between two people. You know, and I love this card. I look at this card and think of me and my husband. We're very much soulmates. We're very much a meeting of minds. He does the washing up. I do the washing up. I, work for myself. He supports me. He works. I support him. It's very much a two-way partnered relationship. No one's better than the other. No one does more than each other. It all works. He doesn't do ironing. I don't mind so much about that. He cleans up the kitchen more. You know, things work, things balance between us. And it's not just about stuff and what he does, but this is really important because a lot of relationships can be very one-sided and one is expecting to do more than the other and they're not really sharing or harbouring the load with each other. So these two definitely do. And the meeting of minds as in, they're both intellectually, not only intellectual, but intellectually, mentally really, really connected. So they just feel like they've known each other, they just feel really connected. They may be totally opposite in terms of people, but they just have a really strong mental connection. And this represents, meeting a new love and meeting a soulmate and having an immediate, very strong connection with them. And it also represents, if you're in a relationship already and there's somebody you're reading for is in a relationship, it means a lovely time with your partner. And it's actually reminding you that you are soulmates, that you do have a strong connection. And maybe it's time to connect back up when we're in a relationship. And I wouldn't be surprised if any of these cards that I'm reading this morning actually relate to you or make sense to you. Don't be surprised by that, because it's no coincidence if you're watching the replay. I know you're here to learn about cards, but don't be surprised if one of them really speaks to you, and if it does, take it as a message for you. And it's also, for those of you that it's in a relationship, it's saying, it's time to get reconnected. It's time to get reconnected. So for those of you that, and this can be like me and my husband sometimes, we've got 3 children, it can be difficult, we're working. Sometimes you feel like ships in the night, because by the time we sit down, it's like 10:30, and then I'm like, hello dear, how was your day? Tell me what went on today. How's things been for you? Because we've not really had a chance to talk much, because we've been back and forth with the kids and everything else. So for those of you that are in relationships, this can be a reminder to say, look, get that connection back, get that time together, go out and have a date night, make some time to have some romantic time. Make some time to just connect and be together. Get off your phones, get off the TV. That's often a way of numbing out and, distracting from life, when actually you need to be sat talking and, really getting connected with each other, talking about your dreams, talking about what you want. So that's the 2 of Raphael. And again, look, you can see so much in just one card. You see, you can do a 3-card reading, you see how much detail you can give. And then last but not least, we have the 2 of Gabriel. And Gabriel is all about work. So looking at this and bearing in mind that it can mean a situation around work and a career, what do you think it could possibly mean? And please feel free to comment, yeah? Because this is really showing you, everything all 3 of you have said that are watching me live is all relevant. You're all tapping into your intuition by looking at this. And you might think, well, I'm just looking at a card and just seeing what I see. But it is about saying what you see. And on my Power Angels course, that is one of my mottos. And I'm like, say what you see, like catchphrase. Because what you're seeing is right. And this is what learning, cards is all about. Saying what you see and trusting your intuition. And often we switch off from our intuition, we forget that little voice, we think, oh no, I'm not listening to it. That don't mean, oh, it's stupid, I'm not going to say. And actually, everybody who's commented, you've all been right in what you've seen and what you've been drawn to. So, what you're seeing is right. So, last one, come on, let's have some fun. See if all 3 of you can comment. 2 of Gabriel, this relates to work. Have a look at what the card is. They're on a beach. Not that the beach is relevant really, but see what comes up. Yeah, you're spot on there, Louise. Absolutely spot on. Louise is saying moving away from harder times. And if you look at the reason for that, look at what's behind them. It's very much a dark cloud. It's very much a dark space. And then there's a rainbow there, which is showing positive and better times, but they're moving into a lighter time. And you're drawn to the one in white, Irene, with the stick. Also, the soft light looks like it's protective, yeah. See, the one in the white with the white stick is slightly leading. And you're also drawn to the light that's protective, yeah, totally. It is saying you are protected in this situation. But if you relate this to work, it can relate to, moving away from harder times, literally. It can relate to needing to work in partnership with somebody at work, because they're almost working alongside each other. But one of them is leading. So Irene, if I was reading this for you, with regard to a work situation, whether you work or you may be working with others in some way, it might be a volunteering situation, whatever you're doing. If you're drawn to the white man, the white one with the white shirt in the front, it's basically saying this is a time for you to lead a little bit more, and take the lead. Otherwise, I feel things won't get done. So this is relating to you in some way, as in, take the lead, because otherwise things won't get done if you don't. But it can mean working in partnership, together. It can mean, for the rainbow, it can mean a sign. So often, not all the time, but I may look at this rainbow and say, if you see a rainbow, it's a sign that you're on the right track. The angels are saying you're on the right track. And whatever you were thinking about before you saw the rainbow, you know, that's saying it's right. It's right for you. It's right to go ahead, you know. But really the message of this card is saying, you know, progress is possible by working with others, by working in partnership, moving away from harder times, important relationships with people who share your vision. So for those of you that are working, you know, are in your own business, this is saying it's a time to collaborate. It's a time to work with others, and working with others will bring great fruits for your labours. And you've got Archangel Gabriel up here, and she's sort of looking over the situation and helping and guiding, and she's providing that protective light. So that's the Two of Gabriel. So, you know, they may be saying to somebody who comes and sits with you and say at work and they're having difficulties at work, so it's time to work in partnership more with people, find a compromise, and a bit like the Two of Michael, find that compromise, but work together. And work with people who are believing in what you're doing and work together in like a formal way. So that's the Two of Gabriel. And you can see just reading those 4 cards, there's quite a lot of detail in each card when you really do a bit of a spotlight on them and connect with them. And we go through every single card as part of the Power Angels Tarot course. And we look at each card in detail and we really, you know, work on it and note it down. So you really get to understand it and get to learn the deck. So that is tip 9. Thank you ever so much for watching me. I will be back tomorrow with tip 10. Just trying to think when I'll be back tomorrow. It's likely to be about 4 o'clock. I'll post it, but I think it's going to be 4 o'clock. So I'll be back tomorrow with tip 10. And the next couple of days now, I'm going to be looking at reading spreads. So we've gone through the whole deck now, the basic structure. And obviously with all the tips that I've given, I can't go into detail with every card, but I've given you a really good broad knowledge here, so you can start to use the Angel Tarot yourself and start to connect with it. Particularly if you're pulling a daily card and you're connecting with the cards as well, do that in Sarah Joanne's Angel Tarot guidance group, because that's a really great way to have the relationship with the cards as well. And tomorrow we're going to be looking at spreads. So I will, in the next couple of days, we'll be looking at spreads and ways we can read simple readings with the cards for ourselves or for our friends, okay? So thank you for joining me. If you like these tips, please do share, please do tell your friends. If you've not registered, so you can get them in your inbox. And do join my group, Sarah Joanne's Angel Tarot Guidance Group, because we're sharing daily cards in there from this deck and really connecting with the cards together. So thank you, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow, and I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll go off to my yoga class now. Bye.